Hey y'all, I wanted to do a little walk around video kind of tour of kind of my experience installing the CarABC unit. This is a Lincoln screen, so it's a 12-inch screen. As you can see the Lincoln sync on my screen there. This is kind of a little overview of really my experience that I had. As you can see, it kind of fit pretty decent. I'm kind of 90% happy with it. Install went okay. We'll kind of flip here, and you can kind of see in the bottom left that I'm not really happy with how that fits. You'll see that's kind of when I first got it installed at nighttime and maybe what my screen used to look like. And then we'll move into tearing stuff apart here. I went ahead and taken everything apart. There's a ton of videos on YouTube. I'll link some down below. I'm showing you kind of how to take everything apart. Everything has clips. Even your AC panels have clips. A lot of the cigarette lighter deal, it's got 8 clips on it. I had to use 2 hands. Kind of put fingers on every single one of these tabs and just push it out the front. I've taken the radio apart, so I've separated the APIM module from the radio head unit itself. I've got my knobs out. These are the AC bottoms. Those are the radio tops. The radio tops have your airbag light in them, etc. Taking the buttons off the top. That's just the backer plate. It holds the circuit board onto the back of this guy. But I've gotten pretty much everything apart here. So we'll get ready to install it too. I'm going to try and see if I can find a solution for the front of the screen. I know that a lot of guys have issues with how they fit in terms of does it sit there and bounce, because you'll lose. On the other deal, there's 3 connections. There's 3 cutouts. I think they're on the top of the screen, right here. That would allow the topmost piece to clip into. So I might try to make something to hybrid it and make it work. But once I get my box unpacked, I'll go ahead and start showing you how to assemble it. And then I kind of wanted to talk about here just a little bit of the process. You know, everything is clips. You can see in the top right, those are your AC clips, in top left. You'll have pretty much everything 7mm bolts once you get everything taken off. The 2 tops for the speaker are, I believe they were T10s or T15s. And then all the connectors have their little funny give-abouts about how to get them off. You'll see that you can pretty much get the screen off and be able to get your fingers in there to play with whatever connectors to get them off. I was able to use some pliers on one of the clips that had a little difficult tong. You definitely want to take out the center bezel first. Make sure you get that out of the way. You can open up the glove box and pull it backwards. It has clips that enter straight into the dash from rear to front. And then you'll kind of see really just a little bit about really what the process looks like once you have everything apart. I really think that the hardest part is transferring everything over. You'll see later on I had issues with the AC gear. I had it getting stuck, and then I had an issue where my AC wasn't able to cool or get anything else except for, you know, the first 1/4 inch of throw on the knob, but I'll kind of get into that later. But the instructions are pretty good. You know, they give you all the hardware. I used a number 2 Phillips for all of their screws. I did not separate those yellow connectors you'll see between the 2 circuit boards for both the radio numbers as well as for the AC controls. There's no reason to separate them. Just be careful when you're moving them together, that you take them as one big unit and don't stretch out the wire that connects them. But otherwise should be pretty much good to go. You do want to be careful that you don't break any of the clips. You want to make sure that you get it all fully seated. I'm going to talk about how my fitment judged it later on. I'm going to try and do some things to remedy it here and there, but we'll see how that goes. I've also gone ahead here, and you'll notice that when you put it back in place and you go to spin the AC dial, it'll leave an imprint on this kind of rubber padding that they've put on the backside of this plate. It's a cover plate for the circuit board. I've gone ahead and trimmed it out. I could see it leaving an imprint. I think it's rubbing on it, so I've gone ahead and removed some of that to kind of give it the space to breathe. All right, y'all. I've got it apart again. This is literally the 3rd time taking it apart. You need to make sure that when you go ahead and remove this circuit board for the AC temperature, you want to make sure that your knob is still clocked. Don't screw with it, don't mess with it. You want it to be able to click hard over to heat, hard over to max AC for cool. Otherwise, it'll bottom out. Earlier I was having an issue where I literally went like this and it was hitting the circle. Now as you see, it can't even bump into the circle. This little guy right here. So make sure when you're taking stuff apart, you watch out for that gear, don't screw with it. And you want to make sure that you plug everything in first and test it out. I've gone ahead and put this guy in place already. You do want to be careful as you're putting stuff in. I was actually able to get this guy in place even with the side panel there. But for example, on this side, under my bracket here, this little guy fell out. It goes vertically in this panel right here, literally in that slot right there. It's got a little tab here and some push pins, so it just goes into this space here and kind of gets trapped in there. And you'll see when you're putting stuff back together, the ones with the yellow halo ring, those guys get these silver ones, and then your 4 black ones, they will go in this little 4 square pattern here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I've got everything back in place. As you can see, pretty much all installed here. As far as kind of display, you know, everything works, AC works, everything. I did have that issue with the dial, but working great now. Of course, 4-wheel drive and all that stuff still shifts. I mean, all you're literally doing is replacing the connector, or not the connector, but the face of the screen. I did have a little bit of fitment issues here. This guy is still not perfect. This one's fine, but this guy, I cannot get him to go in there, and I can force it with my finger here, and I don't know if it needs some tape or what. So I'm a little upset with the fitment there, and I'm a little upset with the fitment up here. You could hear that clicking sound is the clip not clipping all the way in. So I'm a little not happy with that fitment there. They did incorporate this backer plate here, so it helps keep this tray down so it doesn't really move like you'll see in some of the other videos where it's just flopping there. So that's a nice feature. Over here, fitment's fine, everything clipped in. You know, there's only, I don't know, there's maybe, I think there's 1, 2, and maybe 1 and 2 here, and then there's 1 on the bottom of each side. I'm pretty sure clips. There's really not too many clips. They should have added more. You'll notice that the AC vents are smaller. I haven't noticed the issue yet, but for example, you can look in here, half the AC vents literally blocked off. So I haven't noticed that issue yet. All the buttons and everything is still, I've got my auto stop start actually disabled in FORScan, so that doesn't really do anything for me, but yeah, so otherwise it's been good. If you go into reverse, you will see this kind of grainy situation. I'm hoping that there's an update for that. It just kind of makes it look cheesy, and if it's literally just a Lincoln screen, there's no reason for that to be there. As you see, I've got pretty much everything cleaned up, so I would definitely recommend it. I think that there's some things left to be desired, like that, and like this just doesn't, that fits great. I hate that. It's really frustrating. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I might just take it apart again and see if there's something that I missed, but because I can force it back in place, I don't really think that it's that. Yeah. And then if you guys want to go ahead and check the link down below, I've got my code. It's RoushF150. If you want to go ahead and get your discount. I've also got some links. I have a wireless CarPlay connector from Amazon that worked out pretty well, that you literally plug into your first USB like you would a normal charger. But yeah, make sure to check out those links if you want to get one for yourself. Otherwise, thanks for watching.